It's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking NFL action. It is wild card weekend, and we're breaking down one of the games. We're talking the Bears and the Saints. We've got a special for the number one handicapper on the website at picksandparlays.net. You can get $30 off Scott Rickenbach's picks for a 3-day pass, just $89. So we've got Scott Rickenbach joining us, who has had an incredible year. Actually the number one capper on Picks and Parlays, hitting 63% of his picks when it comes to NFL action, and up over 2,000 units for $100 bettors. And Scott, we got to listen to your advice here. Talking Bears and Saints. Saints minus 10.5. The total is, I believe, 47.5. Yeah, that's right. What are your thoughts on this one?
Thanks, Chelsea. Looking forward to this one. This line, like you said, a pretty big number here. So I'm looking a little bit more at the total in this particular matchup at this point, and looking for a lot of points in this particular game. The Saints, of course, very potent offense, especially when Breeze is healthy, and he's healthier now. But also the Bears, and I know they played some weaker competition, but they went over in 5 of their last 6 games. And what happens is when a team gets a little bit of confidence on the offensive side of the ball, so even if they're playing weaker teams, that confidence starts to build. And I think that Trubisky and the Bears offense will have more success than many are expecting here against the Saints. But I just don't see the Bears stopping New Orleans. In fact, in their last 6 games, the Bears, even though they played some weak competition, allowed 27 points per game. They did average 30 points per game. As for the Saints, they averaged 30 points per game on the season. So we're talking about two teams that can score quite a few points here. The Saints did go 6-2 to the over in their home games this season. And also, when you look at a game like this with a big spread, if you're expecting the Saints to have a shot at covering, which I certainly do, if they're up by 17 late, give up a late touchdown, of course, that can burn you if you laid 10.5. But the point is, with the total, I think we also have some backdoor potential per se on the total, because if this total is sitting around in the low to mid 40s and it's late in the game and the Saints are up by 17, they don't care if they win really by 17 or 10, right? So the Bears could get a late garbage touchdown. I like with big spreads, if I think both teams are going to be pretty successful moving the ball and scoring some points, I like to look at the over, and especially when we've got a chance at a backdoor cover type situation, which we certainly do here. Again, the Bears offense did look better late in the season. Weaker competition, but it builds confidence, and the team starts to believe in itself that, hey, we can move the chains, we can move the ball. And I think Chicago will score some points here, but they're not stopping the Saints. Breeze much healthier now.
Right. I think that would be my question is, what do you think we're going to see from Drew Brees? Because obviously he has the track record of success. He's one of the best to ever do it, but it's been an issue for him getting the ball down the field. He will have Michael Thomas probably back, because Michael Thomas back at practice this week. He'll have Alvin Kamara at his disposal as well. So definitely all kinds of offensive weapons around him. But do you think he has the big play potential still in him to run up the score?
I really don't, actually. When you look at it from that standpoint, he doesn't get the ball down the field well anymore. But the Saints have so many weapons that you get the ball in those guys' hands, and they can make people miss. And so even a short play can turn into a pretty big gainer. And I wasn't that impressed with the Bears' defense down the stretch and in some big games where I watched them this season. To me, it's just these are not the Bears of old in terms of how they're really hammering people on defense. And so I don't trust them to make the big plays in the short yardage game. So those shorter gains are going to turn into bigger gains the way the Bears played late this season, in my opinion. And I think that's why we saw the big overrun in Chicago's games as the year went on. I don't know if they got worn down or what it was, but they didn't impress me late in the season. And, facing the Saints in New Orleans is never an easy task. And I see the Saints getting a bunch of points here.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how both the total and the spread plays out. But definitely, I think that's the one I'm most interested to see against the spread, just because it is so big. And this is a year unlike any other. So home field advantage, not quite the thing that it used to be anymore. But that's going to do it for our NFL wildcard talk here on Picks and Parlays. Great stuff from Scott Rickenbach. As always, Scott, thanks for joining us.